Okay, that's loaded. Live. Preemptive strike. So here's a brand new save. Huh. Okay. Campaign objective. Campaign objective. I think that fired twice. All right. So note down that that objective is misbehaving. Papers. That was plus 200 war bonds X2 instantly, straight away, right away from an objective. And that's not a normal thing on the patch. I'm almost certain that that is me having changed around the objectives.x Japanese campaign objectives.xml and adding objectives to sink ships that the carry enemy does not start with. I plugged in one for each of the 5 carriers, but only 3 of them are actually set up in the starting fleets that America gets. Japanese campaigns. So bug fixing, you should be able to see Excel on the stream. It was working a second ago before I hit the live, but it was always kind of shoddy. So as a semi-tutorial, I am fixing that by opening up the mods folder, grabbing Japanese campaign objectives.xml, and then Japanese campaign starting fleets.csv. And in that, I am looking for, no, I need to get Japanese campaign starting ships because that's the ship's names within it, and I need to find which one is excluded. I think Enterprise. Enterprise is included. Uh, Yorktown. Yorktown is not included, so one of those 100 war bonds was for sinking Yorktown, but it was more really the reward for sinking for Yorktown no longer existing. So I go to from objective to slash objective on the one I put in there, and yeah, I'll have to get it in Notepad. And open with Notepad all the way down. Yorktown, you don't exist, so I delete, 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 and save. And I saw Hornet Enterprise, and I think back to the top so that Excel can search it out. Saratoga, we have Saratoga. Do we have Lexington? I think, pretty sure. Oh, we have Lexington, Saratoga, Hornet. Maybe it only fired once. Okay, don't need to. This is a list where of what it looks for with task forces. There's a companion Japanese campaign starting fleets, and one for each of the other campaigns, where it says this fleet shows up, this numbered fleet shows up at this place at this time, but all the content of it and what the ships are in starts here. There isn't yet a way in the mod system to add the loadouts or other initial condition like aircraft that was added to custom battles, unless they did and didn't put it in anything. But with that and that saved, that bug should be squashed. Cool. That's one. Second checkbox to double check it later. Yeah, you can't see the lit. I saw some of the Excel ones. The objective list wouldn't have popped up. The header might have, like, Japanese. The list of the fleets only popped up for a tiny amount. This is the starting fleets in Excel. Here's it. It's a whole bunch of task forces in this column. Then deciding where it is, which fleet it is. So there's a one for the U.S., a one for Japan, their position. I don't recall. I think the map grid I used for that came with the game was in one of the modding tools folder. I've popped it in the mod, but I can't get window capture on OBS to work. There's an angle of direction, a purpose, and a spawn delay, including several that wait to show up. 240 in days. UK. I don't know what. Remember what these are. It is very possible that Excel is just not working. Excel, I think Excel. No. Okay, put you back there. Window. Oh, ship class definition. Okay, I need a new Excel. It's not. All right, I'll pull one up for you. Window. I need to add a new game capture. Excel. Ship engine. Start fleet and capture a specific window. Window exe, Japan starting fleets, and OK. And starting fleets over down, and Japanese starting fleets.csv boot up. And now I cross my fingers that this is going to pop up. All right, OBS is only showing the base, the top of it. Dang it. Dang it. Okay. I'll have to make more detailed descriptions and eventually figure out how that works. Is there all right, the header's there, but that's it on the display. Damn it. This that makes this less directly interesting as a tutorial on the mod system. Okay. But that is squashed for now. Now it's to check. Moving on to other things that have changed is Mandoguari is smaller. A couple of the bases have reduced shipyards, and the biggest one is mostly to help the AI. The home port shipyards have expanded by a significant amount, partially because 6 ships was kind of small, especially if you had a lot of warbuns coming in. But especially that the AI has severe difficulty coping with having 6, because if it wants to build a new fleet, it has to build it all at one shipyard. But it has to build it all at one shipyard on just 6 slots. Now that these have a whole bunch of build slots, they can build as many of the ships as they want in that task force without having to wait in line in the build queue. No, it's okay. While not in use, I'll keep Excel off so it doesn't clutter the header. What else has changed? So Singapore and Balikpapan should now function as home ports, meaning they actually produce supply, and capturing them is relevant for more than just filling out your victory conditions list. Planes 1.6 changed how planes and AA interact, so it's going to be important to see how that actually works. In the meantime, I need to prepare for a preemptive attack in the standard beginning of a Japan game. Set a whole bunch to bomber mode, and you guys swap over. This will double is also a series on actually playing the Japanese campaign that I haven't done. What is something popped up? That's a lot of guard fleets. I'll note that down on a list. That might be a 1.6 change, but it is only listed as way more than it is. Oh, no. Oh, 120. It's got a point value. What is it? Is that its construction cost? 25. I think that's its construction cost. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool. Nice. I have convoys operating. And I want to move 2 cruisers down to here and here. I have changed. I'm not sure about this. I've tried to give this to Free France, but it doesn't really do anything except prevent the other allies from using it because I haven't added a way to get France to activate into the war with any of the other allies. So I might have to revert that. Currently, Balikpapan does get a shipyard as a home port for the Dutch. I don't know if the AI is programmed to be able to build new ships as the minor nations, but if they can, they do have a construction slipway to build some extra submarines if I leave them alone. Away from the mod, a very powerful early game strategy is Japan is to use all of your flying boats as long range bombers because you can get a massive volume of them from a lot of important bases. You can also gain experience and points and war bonds from scouting most objectives early game. And your long range flying boats can get that done for you pretty well. Here I do want to keep them around. Okay, it's zeros and stuff. And put you all on bomber. Send you to recon Rabaul. Yeah, there are a lot of aspects that are very similar to War in the Pacific Admirals Edition as far as, well, it's a Pacific War game where you play one of the two forces, but a lot of the details are very different. Except as Japan, early in the campaign, you're thrown pretty quickly into the action. And the biggest difference is the iteration time caused by not having to deal with anywhere near as many things at a micromanagement level. I personally enjoy this more than War in the Pacific Admirals Edition because it's quicker and faster to play, even if it's got a lot less super detailed stuff going on. Right. Where do I want you for carriers? I think for carriers, I'm gonna send them in this direction, and this direction initially. They can't reach Pearl Harbor anywhere near on time because of the time scaling. 2 destroyers. I have here 2 light cruisers. Do you have a spare cruiser with a float plane? Yes, you do. And I'm going to want this. I have a Kuma. And I want you to meet this light cruiser and merge with it. Actually, you go straight to the light cruiser so you don't get stopped halfway. Battleship. Where do I need battleships? Because these now produce resource supplies to use, it's much more important to get them earlier in an offensive. So I'm going to be more. I've tried to solve the problem that a lot of the time this is kind of irrelevant. Playing as America, it's almost definitely irrelevant, and you only come here to grab the Philippines to fill out your objectives if you don't want to use the nuke. Yeah. I will probably build the Yamato class battleships in small numbers when they become available, because they are so good at killing American battleships. And American battleships, once they get to the faster ones or you start bumping into bigger groups, are a massive pain for your carriers because they have so much AA and pretty good health that they will just eat up the air wing and you'll have to go back to base. And if they didn't stay still, they could tank indefinitely unless you bring in a super battleship. Do I want any of these? I think I want you two to head over to somewhere where you can stage for moving to the Central Pacific. And I want the rest of these battleships. Okay. And there. I want you to move to Hainan. Top tip, Shanghai can actually hit all of the Philippines with Emily's. It's pretty crazy. But it definitely doesn't need any of the other stuff because it's extremely far out there and you rarely come over there do anything. It'd be more relevant if there were more ports around the Sea of Japan and Yellow Sea that were options to take or options to defend or supplies of war bonds or supplies of small amounts of supplies. But as it stands, basically everything north of Tokyo is irrelevant. You can, as America, you can try to market Garden Maizuru, which is super memey and almost sad that it's actually kind of possible early game if you bring up all your carriers and manage your AA really well. The UK, not in the patch, but I did give them a few more ships. I think the list won't come up, but they got a battle cruiser. Yeah, they got one of the battle cruisers, which has the explosive attribute because it's a British battle cruiser, and also a new version of the Tribal that incorporates the modification most of them received to substitute the ABX turret for a dual purpose 4-inch twin mount, which lets them be more defended against air attack, which is an issue they generally have because their guns don't defend them against planes. But destroyers in this game have a very important role in adding to AA defense. That might change given that I've seen reports that the AA in this patch is a lot weaker. You deliver supplies here, you're on your way. Do I have anyone to go over here? Torpedo boats. You're not flying. swap you over here, set you to bomber. Once you fly, you'll be good. Truck Lagoon is swapping over its things. Its planes are. Ooh, A. Nope, that's repairing. Never mind. All right. The Allies actually technically already had a BC from 1.5 in the Richelieu, but it is a French BB. It just goes fast. Okay. You have enough aviation fuel for to last you. I think that'll last until the Philippines are taken. So I don't need to have convoys running any more to it. Alright, that's already being reconned. Send you on some longer range missions so that the forward ones we sent in pairs at places where other bases can't reach as well. I've considered adding bases for Japan's allies, like Thailand, because Bangkok's right there, and they have a couple smaller ones around, and also the Malay Peninsula, but there's currently no way to add bases, and substituting any of these would be a pretty big stretch because it significantly changes how it plays. Okay. Reach you, and you. Yes, yeah. A BC that should actually be available pretty early instead of one that actually waited several years. Any new fighters? Did I? There was going to be. That was kind of on the list of plans. I have aircraft definitions.csv, but I haven't set up to make sure OBS looks at it. And sorting by UK, Fulmar, Swordfish, Walrus, Barracuda, Hurricanes, Shortland. I don't think. No. I have added a couple bombers to the Dutch because in vanilla they just grab the some American planes, but now they have American planes with their own names on it, like the B339D, which is basically just a Wildcat, and I gave it the stats of a Wildcat, the Catalina, and the North American Mitchell. Did I add? Nope, no do nah. Do you have a recommendation for something that I should add? A big factor when considering adding fighters to the UK is that most of the models I could find were some combination of very late war and still pretty short range because the war Britain was fighting didn't need long range fighters as much as it needed air defense with high performance in the climb. Iwo Jima. Okay. I'll turn up the speed at which this is progressing because most of the stuff is now just sailing on its way. Torpedo boats, 4 subs. One thing that's changed is subs actually have torpedoes now. Okay, this is gonna just, which means they don't always instantly run out of ammo. In addition to instantly die to most things. So the hope is that they're more worthwhile without being completely ridiculous. But again, it takes testing to figure out. Not good. I'm going to send all these slower battleships together here. I do want additional destroyers to go with them, or at least additional escorts, which are probably going to take the reign role of destroyers. Looking for range stat. I'm going to set 3 of those with their radar and AA once port is scouted. Cool. Recon war bonds come in. Cool. Yeah, but yeah. Double check. It's been a while since I looked at since I added most of the ships. So come on. Ship class definitions. Scroll down to the Dutch Netherlands. They have their destroyer, and no, they don't have that new ship yet. I did add the Dougie, the French cruiser, to both Allied and Axis forces, though I think only the Vichy one saw service anywhere near where this game takes place in the Pacific, and it's the one sitting over here. And now, nice. Motor launchers, their battleship. Which one is it? I think it's Hood. Is it Hood? I think it's Hood. Right. Yep. An approximation of HMS Hood, which is now in their list at value 350, about as much as the Congo, but modified to be bigger and stronger and more likely to explode. I want some of you building, and I want some of you building, because I expect to expand this port and need more planes ready. There are the recon missions to most of these bases returning. Yeah, there should be a list on the mod page, but which is in Steam. All right. Scouted. I sent someone at you. Scouted. You. And you. And you. Check if you are ready for your recon missions. 500 points in submersibles. I want to send these. I think I do want to send these here in hopes of hitting something. I'm not planning on using the super strat of sailing your submarines hundreds of feet away from the American fleet parked outside Pearl Harbor while at peace, and then launching torpedoes at them from a perfectly set up position, because it's extremely gamey and cheap and quite strong. Oh, I can grab you. Hong Kong. Don't have Manila yet. Alright, I figured out where I want to send the battle cruisers, and that is in this direction to set up shop in this area, because it's very valuable and generally very contested. Put you all to bombers. With enough bases, you can generally. I can't see the stream because of the. Oh, damn. Sorry. Close that back out. Oh. All right. that one grabbed the. Oops. All right. All of those are closed. Objectives doesn't list. Okay. Votes, votes, votes. Oh, here we go. A large amount of surface ships. And I want to set you here. Mechanically, it's possible to declare war on each of the nations one at a time and without the others activating at all. I'm going to activate them all at once within a few days by just dropping a couple pamphlets on them. So the Dutch should be acquiring war bonds from their ports and building a couple submarines or destroyers here. There is British convoys to take. Huh. I've attacked the Philippines in this game a couple times, always this way. And I'm wondering if that's really the best answer. I think it might not be. For subs, I don't want you there. I do want you. I think I'll send them out here, given that they have their increased ammo. Try to put them on the other side of all the bases with scary planes and hope to just conquer a path for them. Alright, 1,000 war bonds. I'm really waiting for this to jump up as soon as one of these is captured, because that'll unlock a handful of good things like new carriers and some new planes. It's 2 extra slots Nagasaki, a whole bunch at Sasebo. Okay, what do I need? Sort you, hear you. Kaga is 18. 18 verse 14. 18 verse 14. I'll go. They're also slow. I'm gonna grab one Kaga and 2 Hiryus. Plus some more surface stuff to act as escort. And others. And just keep this list going to acquire stonks of ships. Alright, scouting checks is scouted, 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 scouted. Most of this isn't scouted. All the bombers. Scouted, scouted. Ships are moving to position. You're all scouted and good. You are scouted and good. You are moving to position. Currently using up a bunch of spotter plane avgas. I'll have them not do that for now. Do I want to open up at Midway or Wake? Midway or Wake? Ships or not ships? The ships are going to be a threat, so I think it is important to send them over this direction initially. Kagaros. A lot of the new fighter planes are with Japan in their float fighters. A big balance question I'm not sure, no idea about yet, is that they are, like, the float fighter is very expensive for one plane. because it lets you put a fighter on something that doesn't normally have air defense more than just its guns. That's 15 for just one plane, which puts it, I think that's above the default cost of any spotter plane. Okay, this is about to happen. Then I'll have you dock here. Alright, capital ships and cruiser things. But you're going here. You are reporting to truck. You, a lot of ships are going to be needed just to enforce the fact that America will keep, and the Australians will keep trying to supply through this corridor. Wake, yeah. It's probably best to invade Wake, even though raiding is better. What do I need to make Wake invaded? Well, I just need one of these. But I'm going somewhere where there will be lots of hostiles. Wherever cruisers. Wherever cruisers go to Wake. Battle cruisers are still headed south. You're still depleted of ship reserves. I have one task force that should have. All the big ships. Here are more cruisers to operate in this area. Hakau around here isn't a port in this. There's just Formosa at the north of the island. And for subs, big convoys, and where are you? I'm going to split this off into a couple others. Nope. There we go. Wait a minute. I just split them to go to the same place. So I want you over here for an early attack on Guam. And I need you constructing ships. Because the costs are just any CVLs yet? There is a CVL in the game that unlocks a bit later, but I don't have it unlocked yet. If we just through this, it's the U.S. still has it. The British still have theirs, but the Japanese one is pretty crappy because it costs about as much as a fleet carrier, and it's still really, really low on planes. Need more ships here. Actually, Shiratsuyu gets dual purpose guns, which are very useful with all the planes around. Occupied Guadalcanal, nice. As soon as this flips, I'm probably going to have to start the attack. You're going here, you're going here, cruisers are going here. Created at Nagasaki is awaiting orders. Your orders are to dock and wait for more ships to complete construction. Sabo. battleships are moving up to position. Instead of going all the way to Hong Kong, all the way there. Ooh, Fusos and some nice Shikaku's unlocked. I'm going to send them here, closer. I'm going to send these nowhere because I don't want them protruding really far out into Philippine aircraft range. We want to stay. Now I do want to sell off these. Actually, they're going to be useful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some float fighters to try to use off cruisers to build up air defenses, as they're going to be moving around places where I don't want to have to always bring a carrier around. Okay. Speed you up. Lots of planes here to run. And add those in the process of repairing. For 14. Cruiser almost to its destination. And these ships are. I want you to head to Kamchatka and then actually ground your spotter for now. Alright, that's a ship range popping up. Okay. 5 destroyers are headed here. Battle. Want 3 of those and 1 of these here to launch an early air offensive against Guam, just to plug that gap and get it repairing as early as possible. Storage bar. Storage bar. 4 subs and all these cruisers are headed here. I think there we are. Seaplane tender likes to hide in the shadows here. And while we're waiting for everyone to move into position, I want to swap some of these for slightly more useful planes. Actually, because this has better range and speed, it's more useful on an individual level, except for not having automatic spotter launches. This abomination of a picture that's actually is the M6A, which was launched from the I-400 to carry torpedo bombers. Those have been added with the ability to carry their. Yeah. I'm going to bomb Guam with pretty much all of this to start the war. Well, pretty much all of this. I'm also going to send a handful of them after these destroyers so that they can't block my attempts to then take it. Destroyers is the big convoy. Where are you headed? Collecting delivery to Formosa? No. Just deliver to here. Deliver to the Marshall Islands? No. I want you to dock at Rabaul. I want you to truck. I want you to dock at Truck. I want to set Okinawa to priority none. Unlike in real life and other plenty of other history games, submarines can't really effectively penetrate extremely deeply because air cover's detection is very guaranteed, and the destruction it can cause is also very hit or miss. There's no pushed it down and then it just kept going but suffered minor damage. There's it's dead or it's not. Torpedo boat's just sitting there. Should auto replenish now. Alright. So the first airfield attacks, nice, are going to be, you're going to fight the fleets at mid. I want to level Midway as take Wake, and I want to level and take Guam with air power from Truk. Your mission is going to be fight here because the fleet should mobilize and hopefully stretch itself out. That might go very badly, but it might not. And then retreat this way. Pop Guam and set up a corridor of death to farm out any transports trying to escape or move through this area. And as these arrive here, I want most of this kind of Philippine area campaign to be going from the south, because I haven't tried it before and I think it might work nice. And over here, it's a campaign of poking with bombers until these strong forts are done. The AI fleets will probably suicide into each other pretty quickly, especially this cruiser and 2 gunboats. Planes, 1 spotter from this task force here. Nice. Alright, what am I waiting for? I am waiting for you guys to arrive. Sort of. I'm waiting for you to get into a slightly better position. Waiting for you to get into a slightly better position. So, but that's about you're basically close enough already. Are my destroyers here? You're ready. You're ready. You're ready. You guys are ready. I think we're ready to go. Double check nobody's got any last minute face palms. And gonna upgrade this and hit the go, which means war on USA. War on USA. Actually, I'm gonna go Britain first by a slim margin. And for that, I want you all on bombers and to launch against Hong Kong. All on bombers, launch against Hong Kong. All on bombers, launch against Hong Kong. All on bombers, launch against Hong Kong. A lot of you are on SW. Set you all to bombers. And launch against Hong Kong. I probably could have swapped over one of these home ports to reach them. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit too late to swap over everything immediately. But the ones that are swapped over are going to go on similar missions. Oops. Oh, you have dive bombs. You're not going to need dive bombers with that dinky range for a very long time. These are all running fleets. You don't need to move. Actually, given that this is going on, I think I will. Yep, you're all here. It's going to be a few in-game days. 6. I want you to go level these bases and also do some nice recon by fire. Any British convoys to send them after. They probably are. So I'm going to pop a large naval search spread with 4 in reserve. All of you are launched with no extras for any naval storage. There's no super bonus cruisers showing up there yet. Yeah, that is a lot of bombers. That's just because so many bases have range to it. And because the bomber is cheaper than most alternatives, I'm going to swap over Hiroshima and then Maizuru. Down to mostly flying boats. Interestingly, I still on, yep. And then we are now at war with Britain. Knock, knock. What do we have here? 6. Okay. Yes, launch him. Here we go. Great chance to see how the changes to AA might work. Alright, load in everything. Default speed up. Here we go. All the carriers of the first, third, and fourth, second, whatever. Whatever it is, they're here and they're big. Okay, Hiroshima. I'm also going to bring, no, just those 2. Yeah, just those 2. And you are going to pull forward in an attack. The hope is that this doesn't completely destroy the air wings before we get to the big fleet battles. Alright, torpedo bombers are away. 5 bombers have not launched yet. Okay. Fine by me. Battleships have opened up and the cruisers are on approach. They are in big groups. So this squadron. They are. I want you to do 2 at a time. To reduce excessive torpedoing. If this was a warship, I would probably be grouping you up and setting up hammers. But it's a whole bunch of transports that move pretty slowly and should only take small numbers of torpedoes to be crippled or destroyed. Alright, let's see how that goes. Everyone broke in random directions. Who are you after? So I think most of these have either one mid-range AA or just one local AA. Okay, bye. I'm gonna continue the test just to make sure it's all working. Torpedoes. Launch with reasonable lead. Heavy damage. Okay. It is not causing massive amounts of damage to the strike groups. They're mostly flying in, hitting, and then returning. Some of them have lost planes. Oh. Okay. I need you to deal with this. Turn. You deal with Cameron. Okay, good. Haidai class submersible. Akazuki's. Nagano. Jakes. Cool. Send you back. And good. Now continue sailing here. Submerge view. Right, they're coming this way, and given that they're right there, I'll send these after them. How have the bombing rates towards Hong Kong gone? Alright, and you, and you, and you, and good. As expected, most of these have been shot down. Most of them have been shot down almost immediately, too. Okay, you have still almost no range. Not worth tagging them in. Okay, because a lot of stuff is going to be building and running through Sasebo, I'm going to build up the upgraded spotter planes here. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here. Destroyer, I want you to merge into here as a stockpile of where all the ships are going and where they're going to get their new planes. Your build queue is clear. Oops. Give me a 1, 2, 3. That should be enough for minor top up. And it'll go fast. Bigger ones. Those big ammunition ship. Alright, you. I want a couple you and you separate out and then join this seaplane tenders task force with the Chitose. I want you to swap these three for these three. Have new planes. And you're moving south. You Sulu Archipelago engaged. Yep. Have you dive, so you're not completely defenseless. I wonder where this cruiser's headed. Oh well. It's French. It'll figure it out. Bombers repairing. 46. And I want you to come to defend it. I think I'm ready to just roll in and take Hong Kong real early. To start the flipping process as fast as possible. Merge as soon as you can. Torpedo boats. Task Force 3, enter combat just in case. Looks like the Nashi, Haguro, and Miyoko finally arrived and merged. And the Susu is also here. Pops into view. And ooh, those long-range accuracy changes have been pretty significant. I'm going to hold fire on the BBs. Yeah, they're still hitting, but they're not hitting anywhere near as often at sniper ranges. Pull you out of line. There's smoke. Alright. This fleet is destroyed. I'm going to set a reserve to stay out of the way while I move these in much closer in preparation for telling them to attack. Say, if I take some peep, and here's a peep. Okay, there is no land at swap in command there. Apparently carriers can now do that, carry each other's planes when they sink. Well, the planes that are in the air. Okay. You're very close to your objective. You're very close to your objective. Let's get Search. What is the range of a zero? Okay, this is a float zero. Alright, there you are. Rate zero. Enemy vessels spotted near Hong Kong. What do we have? More destroyers. Okay. Enter combat. I think these are ones being built in the port during the approach. Actually, I want to shift all of the heavy cruisers into their own squadron. Say you guys launch to here. How are you doing on ammunition? Perfectly fine. Head here. Cruisers have engaged. Looks like a couple hits. Hits on something. Destroyers down. Okay. Let's see where the battleships are sailing. I don't want the heavy cruisers to close in and have to deal with the 15-inch coastal guns, if possible. Pause. Say, do I need any amphibious assault order elsewhere? Okay, send that one. And then set this one. Ooh. So that actually should fire off the invasion the moment someone starts shooting, which means you guys set up here, and you guys actually no. Keep the cruisers well out of the way. Keep the battleships mostly out of the way. And I'm going to send a line of you to separate out and begin shooting. Are you in line? Close enough. Move you forward to this island, and you guys forward to this island. What is your gun range? Alright, here we come. Do I need the airfield? Do need to destroy as many of these as possible. I'll just let them do their thing. I already have tons of airfields here. Previous assault on Hong Kong has been launched. These battleships are engaging the coastal batteries. I want to stack these on the amphibious assault, especially. Ooh. Battleships engage here. Okay, most of them appear to have been driven off or run out of torpedoes. The cruisers have arrived. On the landing force, units set them in pairs on particular mid-sized ships inside. Looks like a couple of them have finally started landing. Plenty of coastal guns have not gone down. How are you doing? Ooh. They've decided just to attack the airfield. I need you to attack these. Nice. Passing transport convoy. Slow down to get frame rates to check. Who is still? Okay, you guys are still firing. I want you silenced. I want you to test relief ship to come and attack coastal batteries as well, instead of just airfields. Set up shop and begun lobbing. Very nice. Searchlights. Actually, those will just slow down repair. Under very heavy surface coverage, landing force is advancing. Quite nice. Occupied Hong Kong. Very nice. I've got this staging group that was going to stop in here. I want you to grab all of your extra ammo that you need. Torpedo boats, cargo ships. Do I have any destroyers to spare? Alright, you are coming up with cruisers and just lighter escorts. I do need more of these over in this area. I'm going to send them to Hainan. Yep, all of these are basically destroyers and not quite destroyers. What's your range like? Very nice. Come with a whole bunch of ships, including some brand new spotters, which I will, in mint condition, which I will gladly accept. Are any of these the... Three of those are the... Ooh. For the fighter, it grabbed. That's something I'm going to have to note down. Okay. What all this means that I do have some nice new spotter planes to assign to Nagato and Mutsu. some of the cruisers, which should improve their ability to operate in the Philippines. Um, the subs are bugged. I guess the subs are bugged. There are American transports that I don't have any quarrel with. My Jakes are I never gave them the time to repair. That is a lot of transports coming through this one little place. I want these to just dock and you to just dock, because Palau does not have the space to hold all of that. Your ships, upgrades. You're ready to do what you need to do. You should be able to overpower those. They were reconned. I think up next is going to be the US. How are the seaplanes doing? Okay. Should have just brought you this way from the start. Do I have the... I don't have the gunpowder to take them on as is. So I gotta save right now. And I think this is a good stopping point for streaming the tests. I'm gonna have to do more bugs and troubleshooting later, and might be able to add a second installment later down the testing. But until then, have a good day.